It's a bad time to release a werewolf movie in December. Just going to throw that out there to the powers that be. Not your best idea.
Maybe somebody should make a Christmas werewolves movie. That'd be good.
I would love to do that, Dan.
Maybe you should make a Christmas werewolves movie, Tony.
Christmas Moon, we'll call it. You don't like Christmas Moon?
No, it's terrible.
Well, it's sticking.
Christmas. Full moon Christmas. A full moon Christmas.
A full moon Christmas? That sounds like an after-school special. I like it.
Christmas under the full moon.
That sounds too romantic.
Everybody dies by werewolves this Christmas.
That'll be the tagline.
Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! It's like watching, yeah!
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. Tony's in the middle of drinking. Dan's in the middle of drinking.
Always in the middle of drinking. You got to hydrate. It's very dry here. I don't know if anyone's in the LA area. It is so dry. Hydrate.
I went out in the afternoon yesterday and it was hot.
You're not supposed to. Aren't we under like a bad air quality alert? We were 2 days ago, Thursday.
For what, like smog? What's happening?
Our what is it? AQI was at like a 133, which is unhealthy.
What?
Yeah, man. You weren't supposed to leave your house.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
On this show, we watch movies, and amazingly, and then we talk about them. Amazingly, Tony picked a Christmas movie.
I did. 'Tis the season.
Ostensibly a Christmas movie.
I mean, they tout it as a Christmas movie. It's not. Oh, Dan. I'm excited because this is the most angry I've gotten about a movie in a while.
All right. What is the movie?
Oh, right. Of course. This movie is the Farrelly brothers, or maybe just one Farrelly. I wasn't totally sure.
One directed it. The other
And
brother
one
wrote it with one guy, I think, from a story from three people, including like the two people who worked on it, and then one other guy. So three guys sort of did the story. Two guys, Farrelly brother, and some other dude wrote it, and then the other brother directed it.
You can put quotes around that. So just each step of that way, it got messier and messier, I assume. Anyhow, this is, of course, Jack Black starring vehicle Dear Santa.
Hour and 47 minutes, brand new 2024 Paramount Plus.
Brand new, baby.
Special release. So you said you got angry.
I'm so mad. Yeah. I'm at a level 10. Where's DEFCON 1? Because those are opposite, right? Those are like, is DEFCON the lower number is the worst?
I think DEFCON 1 is the worst. I think that's...
so I'm on DEFCON... Yeah, I don't know. I'm losing the thread here.
This movie, I believe they billed this as a family comedy.
It's neither of those things.
Who is this movie? Tony... Let's answer the basic question for all time.
You can't. Don't ask questions that there are no answers to, Dan.
Who is this movie for?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. They don't know who it's for. So first of all, they tout it as a family comedy, and then they rated it PG-13, which isn't a family movie. Family movies are PG. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
I think we can all agree that a family movie would be PG, but they made this PG-13. I don't know why. I don't know which part of this movie made it rated PG-13 that was necessary to the story.
I mean, all the pedophile jokes. And
those are the only parts of the movie I enjoyed, Dan.
Well, yeah, because I mean, this movie is really for 13 to 17-year-olds. That's what this movie is.
Oh, they're gonna hate it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's most targeted towards that, but then a lot of it leans into being a family comedy.
Yes, yeah.
And so you're just like, well, what? You got to make that decision.
Nobody's gonna watch this movie and enjoy the whole thing.
No, because the kid is like 11, I think, and no 13 to 17 year old is going to enjoy this kid's arc. You're like, I didn't enjoy this kid's arc.
There's not an arc.
Yeah,
it's too messy to be an arc.
He's a good kid, and
he's not good. A good kid. He's a pathological liar, Dan.
Yeah, what's up with the pathological lying in this movie?
The whole movie's just about two pathological liars, apparently, which not a movie makes. You know.
Should we cut to the chase and talk about what happens in this movie?
Sure. Yeah.
So basically, I'm gonna do the basic setup. Spoilers. This kid loves Christmas. He writes his letter to Santa. He is dyslexic, so he writes, "Dear Satan." Satan, who's Jack Black, comes to give him 3 wishes, just like Satan always does.
Just the classic Satan tales from the Bible. Yep.
Luke 17:4. Luke, what do you want for your Satan wishes?
3 wishes.
The kid wishes for the girl that he's in love with in class. He wishes for his friend's deformities to be fixed. And then he wishes for his parents to be in love again. And then through a twist of fate, he gets a 4th wish. And the 4th wish is for his dead brother that we learn at minute 69 is dead. And then the devil or the devil's henchman.
Not even a devil. Yep, just a demon, but
returns his dead brother to life. That's the beginning of a movie. That's the beginning of a movie.
How dare they bring a dead child back to life, and that's the button on the film? Are you kidding? That is the most insulting thing I've ever seen in my life. This movie, 40 minutes of it is about the parents dealing with grief, and they're like, guess what? Just kidding. We're going to bring him back to life. That's the only way to cure grief, because if the kid didn't come back to life, they were going to kill themselves. What's happening, Dan? I can't. It is horrible. You can't do it. I think these people need to be held accountable, because this is irresponsible filmmaking. And if this is for kids and there are kids out there dealing with loss, you just fucked up the rest of their lives. Because they're like, oh, maybe if I just become a Satan worshiper, my dead sibling will come back to life and everything will be fine. Fuck you.
It's so weird.
It's the worst choice a movie has ever made in the history of movies.
Now, did you have any inkling that there was like a dead younger brother floating around?
No, when that came out, I was pissed already. So even if the movie just took a turn into grief, I would have been annoyed.
Sure.
Because it's manipulation, right?
Sure.
It has no bearing on this character. The kid doesn't feel like he's dealing with the death of a brother. No. Ever.
Not for a minute.
The parents are fighting and close to divorce, and you're like, oh, I wonder what's going on. Oh, their child died. What?
Well, wait, hold on. They make it seem like they're arguing and fighting over the kid being a weirdo.
Yeah, which is what the movie should be about. They have a weird kid. The dad's disappointed. Oh, I wish he played football. I wish he was normal. I wish he was more popular. That's a normal story you could tell.
Tony's story.
But instead they're like, here's a twist. We're actually arguing subtextually about our dead son. Fuck you.
Who's going to magically reappear and like they're going to... I mean, did they once again, these wishes, you're like, did this rewrite everything so that he wasn't dead? Or
this is the actual prop. So of ignoring the fact that it was an awful thing to do, irresponsible, horrible, they're bad people. Regardless of that, in the context of the movie, it makes 0 sense. Here's why. Jack Black is our world builder, right? Yeah. He says, I can't rewrite history.
Oh, he said that? Now, he said
that was his only rule. He gave one rule on the wishes. Oh, I can't change the past. I can't change the war of 1812, whatever the fuck.
That was good. That's one of the better. It's one of the better jokes. It was the war of 1812. There's like there are about 5 jokes in this movie that I was like, I mean, I didn't laugh a lot. I was like, that's a good.
I wrote down 3 laughs.
Okay,
so
I don't
not terrible.
I think I wrote down 1 or 2 laughs, but that was a joke that I thought was a good joke.
It's a joke. Yeah, it's a joke. right? But it also tells you the rule. The one rule of this movie, which is very smart, is I can't change the past. The reason why that's smart is because once you change the past, you change everything in the movie, and it's very confusing. So you're just like, you know what? Can't deal with it. I can only change from today onward. Yep. What is your wish? That's a great rule to make.
Yes.
That's a very smart rule to make. And then at the end of the movie, the kid is like, I thought I couldn't wish for that. And Jack Black goes, it's Christmas. You can wish for anything you want. What are you talking about?
Did he really say that?
There was a literal line in the movie. What are you talking about? You can't just rewrite the rules of your universe. Now
rewrite the rule.
There was one rule. You laid out one rule, and then you're going to break it at the end as another manipulation. Terrible writing. Now, let's pretend that he rewrote history, right?
Yeah.
Changed the death, and the kid has been alive the whole time, right?
Yeah.
That's option one. Why does the friend still think that he has a dead brother on the phone call?
Well, the parents certainly aren't acting like the kid came back to life.
The parents seem to think he's been alive the whole time and don't even remember why they moved to the new town.
Oh, okay.
They say that. That doesn't make any sense. So you got two options. One, the kid, he changed the past. The kid's been alive the whole time. This entire movie doesn't make any sense anymore, and we have no idea what's happening. Or two, he's alive starting today and onward, brought back to life as opposed to stopped from dying, which makes even less sense because the parents have no idea that he ever died. The kid knows he died. His friend knows he died. What do the townspeople think if all of a sudden they have their second kid all of a sudden? That doesn't make any sense. What does the kid remember? Is he a zombie? Like, does he know that he died and now he's back? None of it makes any sense. It's so messy and so unnecessary. It's the worst decision in cinematic history, Dan.
Wow, the worst decision in cinematic history.
I can't think of a worse one.
Did you see the CGI that they used in Quantumania on MODOK's face? Did you see that?
Full disclosure, I have not. No, we never saw Ant-Man Quantumania, yeah.
It's
pretty bad.
It's like they took an actor's face and then just sort of like projected it with a like rear screen projection on a face. Do you know what MODOK looks like? He's just a big face.
Yeah, well, just based off of Marvel Snap.
Yeah, it's so horrible. It's right. These two are
they're tied. They're neck and neck.
Neck and neck. So terrible. But this one lasts longer. The MODOK face you don't have to see for very long. So
okay, sure, yeah. No, this has lasting consequences. Also, there are no consequences in this movie, which is absurd. The kid. Also, let me ask you a question, Dan, because, I mean, we're jumping all over. I hope people saw this movie so they understand what we're talking about.
No one will have seen this movie.
Jack Black, not the devil, turns out he's just a low-level demon who gets fired, right?
He's a
How does a
demogorgon.
low-level demon who doesn't have a job bring a kid back to life? One. Two, can people from hell bring people back from heaven? Or is this kid in hell? Because in my mind, the devil would only have power over hell. He wouldn't be able to pull someone out of heaven. That doesn't make sense theologically.
Well, if he wasn't baptized, he'd be in purgatory.
Okay, there you go. Maybe he's in purgatory. This kid's been wandering around the dark for a year and a half, and then they just throw him back in his body. He's going to be messed up for a while.
Was that how dead he was? A year and a half dead?
I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay.
I feel like it was like a year, right?
Year two. I guess they.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with. I mean, I'm not as angry as you are because I just thought it was stupid.
Get irate.
I thought it was stupid. But yeah, if you're gonna make a grief story, you got to start as a grief story. You know, you can't
or finish as a grief story.
Yeah,
there's just grief in the middle, and then they just erase it. Like there's a whole 10-minute scene of the parents like coming to terms with each other, and finally, after a while, being able to talk about it and like processing their grief together. And then the next time we see them, their kid's back to life. That's fucking stupid. Oh man, this movie.
The thing I disliked most about this movie.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, let's hear what you didn't like about it.
The soundtrack.
Oh, it's not good at all. And that's upsetting because Jack Black usually brings like a certain type of soundtrack.
And not
that
just
would have been great.
Not just the songs they use, but just like
your music tracks.
The key, the music keying you into major scenes, and you could just see it was just like an afterthought. They're just like, we'll throw some music in here, and when you watch a real movie with music that carries music carries you along, and lets you. Smooths over the rough edges. Let's put it that way. And this movie just, they'd get to the end of the scene, they'd be like, boink, boink, and you'd be like, wah, wah. So I hated that.
Sure. You hate music. I hate dead kids coming back to life. I mean, we both have equal complaints.
Yeah. So there's here we see all the nice houses. Then we see their sad house with the dying snowman on the lawn. It's been
which is confusing already because the kid says nobody loves Christmas as much as my mom. Yep. She's obviously dealing with grief.
Yep.
And that's why it's not decorated, I guess, is like the logical leap to that.
Yep. Well, it is decorated. It's just not kept up.
Right. So, but then we go inside and they're literally decorating together. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Stupid.
You would reinflate that snowman on the lawn, but it's symbolic.
All you have to do is plug it in, because that's all you plug it in. There's a fan inside of them. Yeah, that's what they are.
And at the end, when things are better, it's that snowman's blown up, and then there's 2 candy canes and 2 ornaments. You're just like, well, it's still,
not great,
not much,
still not great. I'm not impressed. That's all I'm going to say.
So the kid. The parents are out there arguing about how it's been hard for Liam. They're bickering. The dad seems like a total asshole. The mom's like coddling, but in such a sort of light way that it never feels problematic. It just
not only that, but there's a line when they're making up where the mom is like, "You're a really good dad. You are, Bill. You're a good dad."
He's not. He's terrible dad.
You set him up as an asshole dad. He has to be that. He can go on an arc. That's fine. Like maybe he learns to love his weirdo kid, because that's probably what the movie should be about. Acceptance. It's not, by the way, at all. But you can't just have him be like, "Oh, you're a dick. You're a dick. Oh, you're a really good dad. You're the best dad ever. We love you." This doesn't make any sense.
Because the dad never even throughout this movie, the dad never even tries, even for like a second. He doesn't do one thing and then it goes disastrously. He's just like, I'm going to argue in the kitchen and the bedroom about how as loud as I can about how our kid's a piece of shit.
Yep. And then, I'll sleep on the couch. And then at one point, I think he's like, "I'm going to go stay at my sister's. I quit." But you're a good dad, Bill. You're a really good dad, Bill. Love it.
I like this little Swedish Fish product
you
placement.
It on the desk there?
Like right out there front. If I'm the Swedish Fish people, I'm like, that's worth our $10,000.
$8 million.
So he's working on his letter to Santa. They're missing the angel tree topper, which is like a thread that's resolved at the end, but never explained as to what happened to this or why it wouldn't be there.
Well, I'll tell you right now, this is my theory. It went with the dead kid. And so when he came back, he was like, "Ma, look what I found in my pocket."
Oh, they like threw it in the coffin? Somebody threw it in the coffin?
I have no idea. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Or the kid died with it? Maybe he was carrying it when he died.
Maybe he ate it. Maybe he choked on it. They don't tell me how he died. Maybe that's what happened.
He was playing outside.
That is what they say.
The dad was
so maybe
golfing.
Hypothermia. Yeah, he's golfing. So not hypothermia because he's golfing.
You
can't golf if it's cold enough to get hypothermia.
You could.
Could you?
You could. Okay, right. So mom is crying. Christmas is about togetherness. And then the dad's like, "Our stupid kid's too old." And we learn he's got learning disabilities.
Differences. Learning differences. That's what they say.
It says disabilities on my sheet here.
Well, because the dad says disabilities. says disabilities on my shirt.
Oh.
And then the mom corrects him as like differences, learning differences.
Oh, that's why
and
you
I
were.
think that's supposed to like endear her.
So you were correcting me, and I'm the dad. That's fine.
No, I'm not correcting you. I was correcting your paper because you copied it from the dad. Yeah.
So Liam comes out there and he's like, they're like, how you doing, buddy? And he's like, do you have any friends? And he's like, I have friends. I've been at school for 3 months. So they've been there for 3 months. And he's got this
good point.
one kid, Gibby, who's his friend, and they're 11 years old.
And what does he say about Gibby?
He has cancer.
He's a super popular kid, plays football, has cancer. Those are the 3 things. Turns out he's 0 of 3 on those. Gibby is none of those things. This kid is a liar.
Talk to me about cancer and humor, Tony.
It's not funny for the most part. I feel like we've seen something that might have broken, every rule, there's an exception, whatever. It's not funny. It's not. It's not even hardly a joke in this movie. It's just a lie.
It's a weird.
I don't know.
A weird lie that no one. They never suffer. Nobody suffers for their lies. Nobody has to.
There's no consequences in this movie.
You never get caught in your lie and then have to deal with it.
The kid sells his soul to the devil, and then they're like, "Never mind. There are no consequences in this movie."
That's a perfect movie.
A kid dies. A mom lets her kid die, and she just gets him back.
So
ridiculous.
He goes there. Next day, he's with his buddy Gibby. Gibby has these weird protruding teeth, which at first you're like, oh, and then he's talking weird, so you're like, oh, those
aren't his real teeth.
Those aren't his real teeth. Those are going to be resolved at some point in the movie. And you're like, I wish they'd been resolved sooner in the movie because they were kind of hard to look at. They draw your eye right in.
So here's the problem.
It's like
right?
the really big mole. I mean, not that I should talk because I have a big mole on my face.
Sure.
Maybe that's all you stare at. Is that all you stare at,
Austin
Tony?
Powers, mole.
I mean, I get
Can't
it.
make that movie anymore.
I get it. It's like, oh, there's a thing.
But here's the problem, right? That's going to happen because they're so fake. I'm not saying that, nobody has teeth like that. That's not what I'm saying.
Yep.
This kid doesn't act as if they're his real teeth. Like, he's like, I have something on my mouth. I'm trying to act, but I have something on my mouth. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, it's so obvious. And you're like, okay, well, that's going to get one of the wishes. Great. Who gives a shit? But also, my biggest problem is there's a line where the kid's like, hey, I'm glad you fixed my teeth because my parents were just about to get me braces. They were just about to get you braces, bro. You needed braces 3 years ago, for sure.
Well, maybe Dad just got a thing where they give him promotion, yeah.
Sure. Dad comes home. I'm a manager now. We're getting some braces. Let's do it.
One of the inappropriate jokes is he says to Gibby, if you ever meet my parents, act a little cancery. Like, okay,
yeah,
it's an inappropriate joke.
Sure.
But it's funny.
But that's the only time you ever do it. There is no when he meets the parents, there's no like, bump up the cancer. Be more cancery. Which is not funny necessarily, but I do think it could be funny to be like, you're not being cancer enough. And the parents are like, do you really have cancer? You seem fine. You mean, you could play with it more.
You mean that's almost like a bit you could run to have something funny happen in the movie?
Yeah, why not? Why not? If you're gonna make cancer the bit, you better fucking make cancer the bit, guys.
But it's better to have the two of them interact via a screen.
Than a bunch, actually just like a ton.
Have him show up at his house like kids do in real life. Then he gets to the crossing guard lady. You want to talk about the crossing guard lady and her thing?
I don't want to be too rude, but this is painful for me to watch. She's bad, right? We can both agree she's pretty bad. Not funny.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. She doesn't get a great bit to work with, right? We can all agree on that. But also, she's horrible at it, and so that's like a double ouch. But just in general, she doesn't make any sense because she's only mean to Liam, and then she's super nice to all the other kids that walk by. Why? What's the point of that?
Because he's a piece of shit.
So that's my next point is that has to be the reason, is that he's a dick to her. So she is a dick to him. Just more evidence, the lies, him being rude to people. He's a bad kid.
No, but
this movie doesn't understand that.
They explained at a certain point he's super nice and polite and loves everybody.
But whoa.
They explain that to us in the movie.
In the scene with the devil, or Jack Black, he's like, yeah, you act that way because you're afraid of what people will think of you.
Oh.
He says that. This kid's a piece of shit. And this movie needs to lean into that a little bit more.
So he's hot for this girl, Emma, and
she's way too cute for him, dude.
Oh, yeah. He's smiling at her. Oh, wait. Smiling is easy when you've got good teeth. Oh, that's Gibby says that. He tries to approach her, and then he says weird stuff, and he says, my cat licks her nipples. And then he's like, do you love Post Malone? And then we are like, oh, God, Post Malone's going to be in this movie.
Please don't bring Post Malone in this movie.
But we know it. As soon as you name check somebody, you're like, well, he's going to play a part in this movie. And
a little bit more than I was even expecting. So good for Post Malone, I guess.
Then her cool boyfriend shows up and she says Toodles. And then he's like, oh, I never say Toodles. And then we have like two more characters leave and say Toodles.
Did you think of me when this happened? This feels like one of those times where you were like, oh, this is a Tony bit where they keep running it even though it's not funny. But let me just say, this was never funny.
Your bits are too try hard. This was just dumb. This was like dumb.
I don't know whether that's better or worse.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes,
yeah.
Sometimes you're funny.
Oh, thanks, Dan. That's really kind of you. You're a sweetheart under this hardened shell.
I mean, we'd probably have to go back. There's got to be one of these episodes you're funny in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if anybody wants to go through the 221 episodes and find my 2 or 3 funny bits, put a reel together for me, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, it's all your ones about your dad. Those ones. Okay. Then we have the weird teacher, the low rent Jason Schwartzman. And do you know who that guy is?
I have seen him in other stuff.
Oh, okay.
He is in the one thing I remember him in the most, I think, is he's in The Boys, right? Isn't he like a movie executive on The Boys or something? I don't know. I feel like I've seen him recently.
Yeah, I watched the
That's all I was gonna say.
The junior version of The Boys. I watched. I don't watch The Boys.
Oh, Gen V.
Yeah, Gen V is very good. Boys.
Yeah, very sad.
Too violent. What did somebody?
Sure.
Okay, so boom, he's doing this whole weird bit about A Christmas Carol, and Liam is staring at Emma's hair, and then he calls the kid out on it.
Yeah, this is weird.
Which is
really uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable and really inappropriate. Yeah. And you're just like, oh, okay, the teachers. I mean, everybody's a weird, horrible person, sort of.
Yeah. But this guy should be fired for this. Like, because they're in 6th grade. They're too young to be publicly shamed like that. This is like weird and personal.
Yes.
I don't know.
We do an Einstein thing, and then there's a bagel joke, Einstein bagel joke, which I thought was kind of funny.
That was one of my laughs. That's my first laugh of the movie.
Yeah.
Because they're making fun of Liam because he's dyslexic. And what's her name? Emma. Emma says Einstein was dyslexic, and the douchey kid gets to say the bagel guy. Laughed really hard. Great joke.
There was like this the cool alternative girl that sat in the back and roasted Liam once. I was like,
who was 18, 19 years old, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
She's definitely older than the rest of the kids in the class, which was weird.
Way more interested in her story than all of our characters.
Yeah. Her getting held back a few grades. I mean, there's a great story there.
Gibby and Liam are in the woods walking, talking about how he needs to up his game. And then he's written his letter, and so he's got to go mail that. And then Gibby admits that they're besties, and they're happy about that. Liam is happy that they're besties. Which you're like, okay, that's nice.
which is nice because this movie should be about him being a weirdo and learning to accept that and finding his group of people. It's not about that.
Gibby, the kid that plays Gibby, I really enjoyed.
Yeah, he's fine. He's better than the main guy.
Oh, I
don't want to knock kid actors. It's tough,
Yeah.
really hard. But I liked him a lot.
He's very entertaining. He can deliver a line, and you were like, if this movie gave them space to really deliver these lines and let these lines actually be emotional, as opposed to just, I mean, everything is thrown away. Everything is just like just tossed into the air to disappear. Mom goes with the son to mail the letter. Somehow they hook up. It's like very weird. They get to the location. There's a special mailbox. There's special envelopes.
Yeah, what?
Well, because he has to address it right there. So
I'm sure. Yeah.
So he puts it in there and he dyslexias it up and writes Satan instead of Santa. It magically goes to Satan. He also writes North Lope, Lope. I thought that was funny. That's funny.
Well, here's my problem, and I don't listen. You probably shouldn't make fun of dyslexia, right? Like, that's not something you should make fun of. But at the end of the movie, when he's reading out his letter, shouldn't a couple of those words be wrong, Dan?
Oh, but that would have been funny.
Right, well, sure, but shouldn't they have been?
Well, of course. Well, yeah. I mean, you see, that's if someone had read this with an eye towards making it funny and personal. They'd say, well, you have to completely change the ending. And then they would say, you got to change this to make it funny. See, that's the whole thing about being funny is it'd be interesting to hear about the how the Hollywood process really works, how a not funny script ends up getting made by the Farrelly brothers, where you're like,
sure,
isn't this, don't you have this noted by 27 different people and punched up and you know, I mean, can't you pay like a person $1,000 and like have them read your stupid script and give you 10 jokes until you have 1,000 jokes, and then you can pick ones that are actually good?
Well, it's not in the budget, Dan. Okay.
Okay, that night the parents are fighting again. I hate parents fighting. I don't ever enjoy that in any movie ever for even 1 second.
Well, I don't think you're supposed to enjoy it. Does that help?
Well, no, I mean, just like do it once and we get it. Right?
I know.
We don't need to keep hitting that the parents fight out in front.
I mean, they hit it a couple of times.
Multiple times. Dad never got a pony. Liam's
oh boy, I'm so happy that comes back at the end, by the way.
That's pretty
what
good.
A great joke.
Satan appears in his closet, and his cat's named Blitzen. Very cute cat.
Oh yeah,
Super
adorable.
Yeah.
But also, like, why is it named Blitzen?
Because he's obsessed with Christmas. But
they're not.
But he isn't.
Right. Like, you keep saying that, but you're not. You have to do it then. You gotta commit.
Yeah, this kid needs to be wearing a holiday sweater to school every day. He needs to.
Yes.
We need to see his love of Christmas.
He needs to be full dweeb for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be funny. That actually would be funny. You know, he shows up with the sweater, and Gibby's just like, dude, what? He's like, no, watch this. He clicks the button, and it starts sparkling. You know, these are all comedy bits that if someone had read the script, they would have said, put some comedy bits in there like that.
Nah, take them out. We don't want them. More dead kids.
So Satan talks to him, and we're just going to call him Jack Black. Jack Black, JB talks to him, and he's like, you're the only letter I got, except manifestos.
Which...
That was funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's a joke. Yeah.
Jack Black's jokes are all good jokes. You're just like, this is the wrong movie for them. If this was like
it should be.
If this was like a 17-year-old kid, they'd go at each other.
I'm okay with it being a kid, but the kid stuff has to be more adult. You know what I mean?
The kid's like very much a 10 or 11-year-old.
He's very much a kid.
He is underdeveloped.
Yeah, and like I like the inappropriate jokes around children. That sounds weird when I just said it, but like I'm okay with the devil being edgier with a young kid. I think that's fine, but he is so young. Like he acts younger than what I believe a 6th grader would truly act.
Well, that points us in the direction that this is a movie for younger kids as opposed to
and I think that's the mistake. I think that's the mistake they've made.
Yeah, this movie
should be like Bad Santa meets what is that movie? Bedazzle? What is the movie with
Peter Cook,
Brendan Fraser?
Peter Cook,
and he meets the devil.
Dudley Moore,
right?
Peter Cook and Dudley Moore.
No, I think it's Bedazzled.
Yeah,
Brendan Fraser and Smoking Hot Devil. What's her name?
Elizabeth Hurley.
Elizabeth Hurley.
That's a remake of the Peter Cook and Dudley Moore movie.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a movie because Hot Devil. But the jokes are inappropriate. The devil fucks with him in that movie. Like, she is all about messing with Brendan Fraser, and that's where the comedy comes from. He makes a wish to be like a famous basketball player. He's got a tiny dick. That's funny. It's really funny, guys. Like, that the devil needs to mess with this kid more, and then there needs to be more of a Bad Santa vibe, which is like an inappropriate person around children, because those are easy jokes to make.
Nope.
I know, but it's not. It's none of those things.
We say fudge nuts and chunky and, you know, it's talking about, kid, are you high? You ask the kid if he's high. Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, he's not.
He turns into Santa and he's like, okay, we've got a deal. 3 wishes. You know, the kid's like, well, should I do world peace or climate? He's like, kid, you can get a dirt bike, a yacht, a girl. And then, so he's like, okay, give me a chance with Emma, the girl I love. See you tomorrow. Then he's like, but you got to prove your power before you go. He zaps the cat, and the cat does basketball and does a dunk at the little thing. And then the cat's like, this guy's cool.
Yeah. That's real dumb.
He wakes up his mom to tell her about Santa. Where's Dad? Dad's sleeping on the couch in the morning. We find out that they're divorcing, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, they talk about it. That's about it. They never, you know.
Kyle Gass gets to play the science teacher before he and JB are no longer friends because he said something bad, and now they can't be friends because JB doesn't want to make people angry or something. Somethings. They're having to take care of animals. JB's in with his mouse. There's 4 people in class.
Yeah. One of them has an armadillo, by the way, which I thought was very interesting. I swear to God, it was an armadillo. It's like a hard shell. I don't know. It looked like an armadillo.
Wow. Well, there you go. So he's trying to put the moves on Emma. And it turns out that she's, she's like, oh, I wish you would put them. No, she's more like embarrassed about his attention because she cares about him now. And he comes over there and he's all like, we should go to the Post Malone concert. And she's like, I broke up with my boyfriend. Let's go to the Post Malone.
So glad Post Malone's coming back. Yeah. This scene isn't funny. You know?
Well, they do a Beetlejuice thing where, it's tiny JB in with the mouse and he licks the water, and those are the jokes.
That's the one joke. They make, I guess they make 2 jokes because the mouse sniffs his butt and he's like, that's off limits or something like that. I thought
the mouse was trying to rape him.
Yeah, that's I was saying it gently.
I mean, the joke was the mouse was trying to rape him, right?
I don't think it made it that far. I think he was just sniffing the butt to get ready to mount, and he was like, hey, don't do that, buddy. Maybe later. I don't know. But there's no, I don't know. Where are the jokes, Where
are the jokes, people? Where are the jokes?
That's what I want. I want more jokes. I don't know when this happened.
What happened?
You know what? It probably hasn't happened yet. Let's keep talking.
He's back with Gibby. He's telling Gibby the whole deal. And Gibby sort of bails on him. And then he sees, what's his name, in the park, sitting on a bench. He goes over there and he's like, are you really Santa? And we get a joke. Does Pinocchio poop pine cones?
Which I would assume is no.
No, why would he poop pine cones? Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. He's not still a live tree, right? If you chop down a tree to make a wooden boy, the tree's dead.
Yeah, doesn't make pine cones anymore. So he's like, he admits that he is the devil. I'm better than Santa. And he's like, he tries to run away from the devil, and the devil zaps him, and he's like, don't touch me. And he's like, why would I touch you? I'm the devil, not a trusted relative. Laugh number 2 of the movie. It's a good joke. It's an inappropriate joke in this movie.
Super inappropriate. But it was funny. I mean, it's bad. It's bad, guys. Like, the fact that we can joke about that is very sad. But it was funny.
So he's like, we've got a deal in progress. Your game is weak. There are no mistakes. When I was a kid, they sort of set up that JB was a kid once, and I was like, that's how it's gonna kind of resolve about.
Yeah,
he's gonna give his wish to JB, and that will solve the problem.
Sure, kind of like Aladdin. Then it's too much like Aladdin, Dan. If he gives his third wish to like set him free, that's bad.
Why is that bad?
Because that's the story of Aladdin.
Who cares? I don't remember that story.
They care. They reference Aladdin like 3 times in this movie.
They do reference Aladdin a couple of times.
Ridiculous.
Now he's like, he points to the clouds and he's like, these are all the things we could do. And then we get a montage to Wild One.
Of nonsense.
It's
a montage of nonsense.
Him gambling, him rolling in money, him driving a car.
An arm wrestling competition.
That's the one I didn't understand. I mean, it
doesn't make any sense.
Were they referencing the Sylvester Stallone arm wrestling movie?
I hope so, which is a movie we're going to do at some point.
Over the top?
But it is over the top. I have no idea. I don't know why it happens twice in the montage, as if that should matter.
Oh yeah, the montage like cuts back the things that already happened in the montage, so we could see more of them. Like,
because that's what I was like. Oh, this montage is moving too fast. Please, let's go back and do more of those scenes.
I need the resolve of the arm wrestling competition because I want to see that he wins because he might not win.
Right? Wow. What the fuck? No, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then he's doing the rings. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, he's doing gymnastics.
In the Olympics.
He's doing Olympic gymnastics.
Who would
rings.
Pick the rings? No offense. The rings are very hard and it's very impressive. But I don't feel like kids are like, man, I wish I could do the rings. I don't think that's the one they would choose.
I would want to do the pommel horse.
Yes, big time.
No, not the pommel horse. The thing where you jump and you spin and land.
Oh, jump, spin, land on a mat.
That's not the pommel horse. Pommel horse is where you're.
Yeah, that's where you're swinging around it on the handles and flipping and shit.
Or I'd want to do the uneven bars, but the girls do that. But that was the one when I was a kid, I was all like, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Dangerous, though.
Kill yourself. Tony, kill yourself.
Wait, whoa, Satan.
That's a subliminal.
No, Dan. If you say it out loud, that's not subliminal.
I just read on a little card. Kill yourself. Now the teacher comes up on his bike. Why don't you do this? You probably loved this scene. This scene was hilarious.
No, you loved it. Out of the two of us, you would love this scene. I do not like fart and poop jokes. Not funny. Low-hanging fruit. You know what's even less funny? If we drag them out for 5 to 7 minutes. Holy buckets, guys. This is ridiculous.
He zaps the guy's innards, and then there's like a porta potty up there. You're like, why is there a porta potty? Oh, that's why there's a porta potty scene.
Oh, I see.
He goes up there, and then he locks the door, which I thought was kind of funny.
That is funny.
The door
it could have happened way faster, and that could have been the joke. You know what I mean? And then he just has to run away. But instead, after that, he walks very slowly back down the trail to the boys, picks up his bike, very slowly sits on the bike, and then scoots himself off. It's 3 more minutes after the joke, and there's no more jokes.
Well, I think we say the word shart at least a couple of times.
Oh, yeah, probably 5, 6 times.
That's the funny word.
Just ridiculous. Just horrible stuff, guys.
He meets back up with Gibby, and they they talk about something. Then we take one of the world's funniest people and don't give them jokes at all.
Oh, yeah. Well, he made... And this is just my assumption, is that he's on set, right?
Okay.
What's his name?
Keegan-Michael Key. One of the funniest.
Brilliant.
This is a guy that when you see him live on a show, you die. He will kill you.
He's brilliant.
Brilliant.
And they were on set, right? And they did one take of the scene, and he's like, hey, do you guys realize there's nothing funny in this scene? And they're like, yeah, we know. And so he's like, I'm going to go to craft services. Be right back in 2 seconds. And he comes back with a bunch of nuts. And then he spends the whole scene awkwardly eating nuts. And I laughed throughout the whole thing just because of the way he kept like eating. It was very funny. And I was like, thank God he's in this scene. If anyone else is in this scene, it's 10 minutes of absolute torture.
Yeah.
Because this is a terrible scene. It reminds me, you remember the Santa Claus? The Tim Allen flick? Great movie.
I mean, I know they made that movie, yes.
Damn. Yeah, they made that movie, and we watch it every year because it's great.
No, you watch it. I don't watch it.
So the stepdad in that movie, Judge Reinhold,
back in the new Beverly Hills movie, Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Exactly. He is a psychiatrist,
okay.
And he is like grilling Charlie, the kid. And that's a funny scene because he's the one that doesn't believe and Charlie, right? So I think they were trying to bring that sort of vibe to this. And it's just not like the parents keep pretending he doesn't know what he's talking about. But like you called the you think your kid's crazy. You call the psychiatrist, crazy is not the right word, I apologize.
Yeah.
You call the psychiatrist and then you sit there and you pretend he is just confused. How does that serve this scene? Oh, he doesn't know what he was saying. He means this. He doesn't know what he's saying. What are you talking? You called a guy because you think your kid's crazy. Play that scene. They should be 3-on-1 of this kid believing in Santa / Satan and all 3 of you against him. It's weird. Ugh.
Gibby shows up. The JB shows up as Gibby's dad. They make a boba joke. They earlier made a kombucha joke.
Boba. I chuckled.
You chuckled at the boba joke?
Yeah, when Jack Black just boba. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
It's just those jokes just feel like they're sliding into the past. They feel their shelf life is already like years gone by dead.
Yeah, I mean, boba was funny 8 to 10 years ago when it was like just kind of coming out and just, weird people were drinking it. Everyone has a nice boba. I love a nice boba.
Oh, no, never had one.
You never had boba? We'll go get some tea.
I stayed with people that ran a boba truck.
Ooh, like a food truck, but with boba tea.
Yeah, really? back when it was hot and they made a lot of money. They did good.
Right. And that during that time, Dan, this movie probably would have been really funny.
Might have been. Okay, they want to go to the concert. Oh, that's why JB shows up with Gibby, because they're going to go to the concert.
Right.
Yes.
And they try to make this a cancer joke because they're like, oh, we got to go do chemo.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the parents say, have fun at chemo, which I guess is a joke of a type.
It's okay.
Right. It would be funnier if they were playing chemo for real. Like, those people don't look like they're going to chemo.
No.
You know what I mean? They're all in pretty high speed. It looks like they're going to ice cream,
Yeah.
Not chemo. Maybe make a joke about he's got to be sadder. The kids, I don't know. It's a weird situation.
His friend should have been like this.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, I got to go to chemo.
I forgot. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so sick. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because his parents, these parents don't go like, oh, okay.
Right? Yeah.
They have to. You have to turn it. You have to morph to do something. They can't just
has to be uncomfortable for them.
Yes, you have to make. Nobody ever gets uncomfortable in this movie.
No, it's weird.
You got to put people through it because writhing around is what makes us go, oh my god, oh I would not want to be in this hole.
It should be awkward. You're lying about having cancer. That's an awkward situation. It just reminds me of Jono's show. What was that called? I don't know. Jono Wilson was in a show about a girl who lied about having cancer to get on a shop network.
Yeah, shopping network. Yeah.
And there's a ton of uncomfortable stuff because it's uncomfortable to lie about that.
And that's why I didn't watch that show. Because I don't like uncomfortable humor. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
It is all about that.
Yeah.
And I don't love it either, but at least it's something. Right?
Well, I mean,
like they're trying something.
They put you through a thing, and that's the key to humor.
You feel emotions in it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you want to put the person in a position where they're like,
Yeah, because you should almost get caught for lying about having cancer. It's bad.
So they go to the concert. My favorite part is they're showing the people heading into the concert, right? And there's a couple of women on the one side as they're walking up the steps to go to the Post Malone concert, like this. Woo!
I love that you noticed that. And that's great.
You're just like, no one's gonna act that way. That's so weird. But it's funny.
That's not real emotions whatsoever. Good for them.
So they get in there. Poor Gibby has to go up into the nosebleeds, which I thought was kind of funny.
The funny joke. Even Satan can't out trick Ticketmaster. I'm not a bot. That was a good joke.
Yeah, it's a good joke.
It's my third laugh of the movie. I think that might be it. Third and last laugh.
You peaked early. Post Malone does a song. Then he brings up Liam.
Oh, boy.
And then they dedicate the song to Emma, or he takes the microphone and he dedicates it. And then he dances.
Is that what we're going to call it? We're going to call it dancing?
He moves-ish in relation to music? I mean,
more or less. Yeah, more or less. Here's the problem.
Wait, did you think he was going to sing? Did you think this was going to be like a duet? I thought it was going to be a duet.
I thought he was going to do something. I thought he was going to do something cool. And let me tell you why. Because before he goes on stage, he walks up to Jack Black, who's backstage kind of. And he's like, "What? I can't go out there. I don't have any skills. I'm going to look stupid."
Yeah.
Which he does. Yeah. He looks stupid out there because he can't dance and he's an idiot. But Jack Black says, "Hey, have we not built trust here? I'm not going to let you look stupid." So I thought for sure the kid was going to go out and be like, "Oh, super talented all of a sudden. I'm going to sing a duet. I'm going to dance, do a real dance." Nope. He just looks like a moron, truffle shuffling all over the stage. What's happening? That's from Goonies.
Oh.
Sorry. That's the first thing that came to my head.
That's why it's not funny. Okay.
I don't like the Goonies either. I like Monster Squad.
You'd love the Goonies. Look at you.
No, I didn't like the Goonies. I still don't like the Goonies. I think Goonies is the most overrated film of all time. And it took away viewership from Monster Squad, the far superior film. Yeah. Anyhow. So anyhow, I thought that he was going to come out and be really good at something. And then the rest of the movie would have made a little bit more sense when the girl in the hospital's like, "Hey, do you know who you have in there? That super cool kid." He's not cool. He's not cool at all. I thought it was going to be a Goofy movie moment where they do the perfect cast on stage. Remember that? Max and Goofy break onto the Powerline concert and they're like, "Uh-oh, what do we do? We're a goof." And then they do the perfect cast and it's a cool dance and everybody loves it. That's what needs to happen. He needs to do something cool.
Yeah, that would have been better.
He doesn't.
Brings Emma up there. Gibby tries to hit on a girl up there and saying that that's his friend. She sees his hideous teeth and denies him.
Which just further solidifies the moral of this film is that if you're ugly, get cosmetic surgery or make a deal with the devil, because otherwise no one's ever going to like you. Acceptance really isn't a part of this movie at all.
Not really.
It's weird.
Okay, he's on the tablet with Gibby. Gibby says he left early because he was bored, which he didn't leave early.
He's lying because he got rejected.
Yeah. I guess you're right. He is lying.
Poor little guy. Because everyone in this movie is a huge liar.
That is true. The parents are listening, and they hear that he's worshiping Satan, so they're freaked out. And Gibby's like, "You're a star. My teeth are terrible." Then JB shows up, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, he's going to ask for his friend's teeth to be fixed." So the next day, his teeth are fixed, and he now is a player, and he can score with the girls.
And, here's what's weird, Dan.
Tell me what's weird.
One day later.
Yes.
And no one seems shocked that his teeth are magically completely fixed.
Well, because he didn't exist when he was hideous.
But he did.
No, but the truth of the matter is you don't exist when you're hideous. You only exist when you're beautiful. That is how the world works.
But I do.
Nope.
Nope. I agree with you.
Nope.
I agree with you. But here's what I will tell you.
Tell me something.
Maybe things are different. Maybe we have eradicated bullying. I don't know.
We haven't.
But a kid with teeth like that, people are gonna talk. You know,
People are gonna talk.
People are gonna talk, and they would be like, well, what happened to your teeth? Because yesterday they were, sticking out 3 to 4 feet. I could see you chomping on food over there. I would just watch you all day. Like, people would know.
Listen to you bully this poor kid in the movie worse than anyone bullies him in the movie. You're bullying him worse than anyone bullies him in the movie.
I'm saying other people would say, the bullies. I wouldn't say it.
Tony, I think we established that you were a bully in high school, weren't you?
No, I was not a bully. I got bullied younger, and then I was like, well, that's dumb. So then I just, became self-deprecating. You beat the bullies to the punch, they're on your side. It's a very simple formula.
Oh, good.
Good. All right, good.
It's the Christmas carnival. They play the beginning of Run DMC's Christmas in Hollis. I had to turn the movie off, watch that whole video so I could hear that song.
Because it's 10 out of 10.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Now they're the cool kids because the 19-year-old cool girl, she videotaped them on stage.
Yeah.
The parents continue to be worried about their kid being into Satan. Emma shows up. You're so humble. She's like, let's have corn dogs. Dad sends the wife out. Oh, he stays in the car and sends the wife to go grab the kid.
Yeah, I don't get it.
JP's in the hot dog stand. And Mom is hanging out with Gibby. Then Liam goes to Mom, and Mom drags him, and they throw him in the car, and he's like, no, I'm on a date.
I mean, this is a full-on child abduction, and nobody says anything because they literally pick him up. The dad screams, I got him. And then they throw him in the car with him yelling. And then he's at the window banging and screaming to get out.
No one sees this.
Nobody says anything. This is weird. This is very scary. Scariest thing in the whole movie.
And then what do? They deliver him to the hospital.
Uh-huh.
And he's I guess he's acting sedated. In a full hospital bed with everything set up. I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't understand either. And Jack Black goes, what did they give you? So I feel like
he was drugged for sure.
He's drugged. Yeah. All right. That's weird.
And he makes a one flew over the cuckoo's nest joke. Do you know what one flew over the cuckoo's nest is?
I mean, I saw that in high school.
Oh, okay, good.
One time and was like, this movie is too crazy for me. But who is this movie for, Dan? Who's going to remember?
Wait, that's my question, Tony.
If it's, I'm turning it right back on you, sir.
My question.
Like the people like you said, it's for kids, like the preteens to young teens. They're not going to know what that means. This isn't a joke. The parents aren't really going to care because, that movie hasn't been in the zeitgeist for 40 years.
It's a movie from, I would guess, 1970, 71?
It's got to be early 70s.
So what is that, 55 years ago? 50
Holy shit,
to
really?
55 years ago? That's a joke you're making?
And we're old. Still not funny.
I'm very old. I'm elderly. Then JB shows him Gibby and Emma, and then he's making it out like Gibby's making his play on Emma.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all know he's not.
Keegan shows up and he's like, the bad news, he does not have a brain tumor.
Yeah. It could have been funny.
Dad is excited that he doesn't have a brain tumor. The nurse shows up.
No, the dad's disappointed.
Whatever, dad's
because
excited.
They were hoping it's a brain tumor to explain what's going on. See, this is why the scene is not funny, because what you need to understand is that the dad is hoping he has a brain tumor so that it's not something else. I don't know what else, something psychological. Then if it's physical, then it makes sense. I don't know. So when the doctor comes out, he's like, bad news, it's not a brain tumor. That should be funny. And it's not.
Then they play, the nurse shows up and she's like, your boy is a rock star. And he's so cool. Yeah. And she plays a video of them playing beer pong with Post Malone.
Right.
Beer pong.
That's going to get him
Malone.
arrested.
Beer pong
Post
with Post
Malone
Malone
is now in jail. He's incarcerated. He can never tour again. Like, what's happening
Look at
right now?
how cool he is. Your son is playing beer pong. You're like, no.
At 11 years old.
No.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
At home, they're freaking out. The dad realizes he's a bad dad, and the mom says he's an amazing dad.
Which doesn't make sense.
And dad cries about not getting a pony as a kid again.
Yeah, like that really messed him up. But why do you need a pony, guy? Are you going to take care of that pony? I don't believe you.
Oh, because that's an ancient trope of what you want for Christmas.
Sure.
It's the ultimate tired trope of what you want for Christmas, which as opposed to saying something funny or interesting where you're like, oh, this reveals who you are.
Again, I'm going to bring it back to the Santa Claus, and I believe it's an Oscar Mayer whistle. That's what Judge Reinhold wants.
Oscar
and then
Mayer
he gets it,
whistle.
and he blows it at the end, and it's a cute little joke.
There's the joke.
Because it's something very specific to this weird guy that you're like, yeah, this makes sense. This feels nice.
But the pony thing is just like, whoa, what should he wish for? Oh, he wanted a pony as a kid.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
So dumb.
You know?
It's so dumb.
He should want something he should want something that means something to him. I really wanted O.J. Simpson's jersey. You're like, oh, O.J. Simpson's jersey. It's like, it's just not the same now. Look at that, a joke. There's a joke. I made a joke.
There you go.
Pony.
Look at that.
Not a joke. It's a stand-in for a joke that someone then writes the joke, and you're like,
yeah, Phil, this, we'll go back and change this later. Just put pony for now.
No, kept it as pony. He FaceTimes with Gibby. He says, I saw everything. I fixed your teeth. And then Gibby's like, why don't you try being a good friend? I'm like, whoa.
Because this kid's a piece of shit. And the movie keeps trying to tell me he's too good to be corrupted by the devil, but he's not. He's not at all. He's a bad kid.
And then, boom, we get the 70 minutes in, we get the thing where the parents are like, maybe this is the devil. Maybe he did this to us. Who took Spencer from us? Spencer, person we've never heard of.
Yep. And you're like, what?
God? But all the bad things in the world. Spencer died because I let him play outside. And then I'm like, this is a movie about not processing grief? And then and the dad deals with this by going like, I'm going to my sister's. I'm not going to have this. Yeah, our kid is dead. I don't care.
Yep. Interesting choice to make this suddenly about grief, even though, again, it has no bearing on Liam's story at all.
That's true. It doesn't deal with Liam at all.
Because he doesn't seem to. I mean, he watches videos later, which is like, again, another manipulation. Fuck you. But other than that, he doesn't seem all that bothered.
No. Boom. Liam runs away to go find JB in his motel because he's staying at the Red Rum Motor Lodge room 666. Not surprising. JB is in a onesie.
Yeah. Why? What's happening?
Because that's funny. It's funny that he's wearing that. I mean, he's a big guy wearing this weird red lycra onesie.
Yeah, that's not funny anymore. Like, we've done that.
Yeah.
You know? We've done it. It's not surprising or funny anymore. It's just a thing. I don't know.
So then he does a lot of jokes. I didn't write down any of them.
Oh, he does jokes? I didn't write them down either. I've been done laughing in the movie for a while now, so
You're the post-laughing situation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We also did a thing where somebody watched a newscast where Post Malone says he doesn't remember the last 24 hours because we really need to establish that he doesn't remember what happened because that's going to come into bearing later in the movie.
No,
it's not.
No, that's wrong. But also, part of that newscast should be like, and here's a viral video of a young kid playing beer pong with Post Malone during that time.
He's going to get in trouble.
Man. He should be getting in trouble. So this should be his way of pretending he doesn't remember anything to get out of trouble. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
it's weird.
Let's rewrite the joke. They get him on the street, and they're like, "What? Do you want to talk about what happened last night?" And he's like, "I don't even remember anything." And then they play him the video of him playing beer pong with a kid. Beer pong with an 11-year-old. He's all like,
"I would never."
But no, he gets to be himself and celebrate his wonderfulness as opposed to putting the Post Malone character through a little something.
Are people really? Is he big? This is a old man question. But when they brought up Post Malone originally, I was like, is that who the kids would be into? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what. I don't know who his constituency is. I do know that he bought the Magic the Gathering one ring card for $1 million.
Well, all right, respect. I'm done. I won't even question it anymore. Good for him.
And I do understand he owns at least one Raising Cane's fast food place. He might own a few of them.
Dude, Raising Cane's is so good. I love the toast that they do. Oh, my God. Woo. Have you had Raising Cane's?
No, there's one in Burbank. Oh. We've driven by it a couple of times.
Yeah, you should. If you like chicken strips, get some Raising Cane's. Okay. Oh, man, it's good.
Maybe I'll try that. I won't, but I might. Mom talks to him through the door, realizes he's gone. And then, what's his name, just wants his parents to be happy. And so he's going to, so they can hug and kiss and laugh. And so he gives him his final wish. And now he's like, you're done with your wishes. Now go out there, be a jerk, fart on the bus. And he's like, but I enjoy being so nice.
And this is the part where Jack Black goes, no, you don't. You're nice because you're afraid of what people will think of you. And he's like, I'm a very astute judge of character. So that has to be the truth.
Has to be the truth. The parents are out looking for him, and then they're like, let's just stop fighting. And then they like, I baby him. I don't blame you. I blame myself. I blame. I was golfing. I blame. It was an accident. Let's reconcile. Let's be in love, and let's find Liam.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen.
Yep. Then they pick up Liam.
This is a fine scene. You know? It's fine.
This acting was fine.
Yeah. And like, if that's how you want to progress their relationship, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
This is it's obviously a condensed version of dealing with grief, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. And now you're going to reverse all of that.
Yeah.
You're just going to erase all of the work they've done and they just have a son again. That's dumb. That's really dumb.
So we play bad to the bone. Now we've got the bad Liam, who's not really that bad. He's just kind of like forthright, which I guess is the whole point.
He's also not that good at it.
No.
Poor kid.
He wars with the crossing guard. He defies her authority. He takes down the bully. The bully punches him. I had that. This is a scene from my childhood. There was like a bully in junior high, and I annoyed him so much. I don't know why I put him on blast for some reason. We were in gym class.
Because you're Dan Goodsell.
And then he like punched me. He punched me like in the face, I think.
Yeah.
And it didn't really hurt. And so then I like laughed at him, and he did not deal well with that.
Yeah, no, all of that sounds exactly what I would assume would happen.
He goes and he blasts the weird teacher.
He's kind of a dick to the teacher.
Oh, he's a huge rude dick to the teacher, because the teacher is like, the teacher's putting To Kill a Mockingbird on blast for some reason.
Yeah.
And then he challenges authority, and then he's like, why do you always put down great books? You're like, it's such like what a weird thing. And then he's like, you live with your mom and you suck and because you can't write or whatever. And it's like, what a weird trait to blast somebody because they put down classic books.
Yeah. Well, listen, the kid's a dick. So, and this just goes to prove it.
After class, Emma does not want to play with him. And she's like, you were a jerk. You called him a failure. You're not nice. And then that is the moment where Liam is like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be mean to people. So again, it's literally just proving the fact that he's only nice to people because he's afraid of what people will think of him. That is true.
That's not a good person.
That is true. And he cries. So he goes home, watches video of his dead brother. Gibby calls him up. They talk to him about the dead brother. And this was a really interesting thing is at one point, Liam wanted to say something to Gibby, and Gibby like made small talk to shut him down. And then he's all like, I was going to tell you, he's like, why didn't you ever tell me that? And he's like, because you shut me down with a small talk. And so they kind of make it Gibby's problem. Like, Gibby's the asshole.
When that happens, Gibby does say, he's like, I'm not good at the serious stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing.
They make him like, Liam is accusing him of not listening to him. And you're like, I don't think that's what it is.
It's not. It's all because they don't know what they're doing. These writers, amateurs.
Then he says, I'm sorry I fixed your teeth without your permission. I'm like, where's his apology for Emma, who he forced to fall in love with him?
Right. So that's weird, right? There's never a moment where Jack Black is like, oh, the spell will wear off.
Yeah.
So as far as I can tell, she's only still interested in him because she's being forced to under a spell.
Yes, true.
That's bad. That you can't live your life like that. There needs to be a scene where he talks to Jack Black and is like, you have to release her because I want her to like me for me. Acceptance. This movie needs to be about acceptance. I don't understand how it's not.
Let me do my favorite lines in the movie.
Okay, yeah, please.
So after he says, I fixed your teeth without permission, Gibby says, you could have fixed your own physical malformities.
No, you're right.
And Liam is funny. Like, what malformities? And then Gibby changes
It's like, yeah. No, it's a good bit.
He delivers it really, really well. Where you're just like, wow, you're putting the asshole on blast.
Yeah, it is. That is funny.
Satan goes to hell, and this was bad.
Why is this? What does this have to do? Why is he not Satan?
I don't know,
get
man.
it. Do they think that this is really funny? They're like, oh, guess what? He's not even Satan, you idiots.
He should have been. He should have been in the mailroom, right? And then there's no work in the mailroom.
Right. Just intercepted it.
But they should have said, Satan should have said, you're the goddamn mailroom, and you stole 3 wishes. You stole 3 of my wishes. I do not have infinite. There's so many things, but they do this terrible null and void bit for like 5 minutes, and you're like, no.
You know what null and void means?
Yes, I do know what it means.
Yes. Everyone knows what it means.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah, it's really dumb. I feel like what they're trying to show you is that he's not that bad.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But the story should have been more about the devil coming around and being like, well, you're not that bad. I'm the devil, I'm bad, but you're a good kid and you've kind of warmed me up a little, and here's a Christmas wish, go fuck yourself. Something like that.
But the Christmas wish is not bringing someone back from the dead.
Right, yeah. No. That's not what it is.
So then he comes back up to talk to Liam one last time, and he's all like, you're not Satan. You're a low-level demon fraud. I'm banished. I'm so sorry. I enjoyed our time together. And because of that, I'm going to give you one last wish, and that's your dead brother to be alive.
Now, I
scratched my ear.
Doing what they've done destroys their entire world that they built, right?
Well, there was never a world in this movie.
The little bit of world that they built was the devil.
Yes,
is powerful.
Yes,
and grants 3 wishes in exchange for your soul.
Yes.
Now it seems like any demon can do anything.
Yes.
He's a low-level demon.
Yes.
He brings someone back to life.
Yes.
That is insane.
Yes.
That is so powerful.
Yes.
But also he can just do it willy-nilly.
Yes.
He could do anything.
He could still do it after the devil is basically throwing him off the case.
Right? He's just all-powerful. He's a low-level, all-powerful demon. That doesn't make sense. It can't make sense in a world.
Well, or Liam has to go down to hell and save him for some reason, and then he does something. I love that.
Go have him talk to Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Have the kid go down and talk him out of prison.
Yeah. whatever. There's a million.
It's dumb, man. It's really dumb.
So yeah, we do the voiceover of the wish, and then there he is. And the dad also gets his pony, and mom gets back her tree topper, and the tree topper is now JB, and the kid says, "Best Christmas ever." And then Gibby shows up, and Gibby's like, "Oh, Emma's gonna give you another chance." And then he sees the dead brother, and he's like, it's going to be a little tougher because your dead brother's...
Well, yeah, Liam's like, how did you get her to give me a chance? It's like, I told her all about your dead brother, who's now alive. And that's the joke. That's a joke. It's the button of the movie is, how's he going to get out of this one now that they've brought his dead brother back to life?
That's the button.
It's so... it's so bad. It's so infuriating. I hate them.
It's pretty good.
It's very upsetting. But also, the dad got a pony. What's he going to do with a pony?
It's going to shit in the house a lot.
Right. Like, he's not going to take care of a pony. He shouldn't even still want the pony. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. And then he's like, oh, thanks, honey, for getting me a pony. Nope.
When we were kids, we went over this guy's house, and he had, I think it was peacocks in the backyard.
Okay.
There's peacock shit everywhere.
Of course. That's what animals do.
That's why you got to be very careful about what animals you have, because they're going to defecate, and that's going to be your problem.
Yeah, you're going to have to pick that up, or you're just going to walk all over it. This movie, Dan, it's a bad movie for an hour and 40 minutes. And then for the last 7 minutes of this movie, it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm going to make a proposal, Tony.
Oh, please. Yeah.
Well, let's do this movie every Christmas for the show.
That's a bad proposal. That'll be our every year film on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day.
Anything else you want to say about this stupid movie?
Santa should have come in the movie.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Like Santa has to come and resolve this. Santa has to be real. Has to be real.
Without a doubt, has to. Like, it's not even. I don't know how to. It shouldn't even be debated. Santa has to show up at the end of this movie. It's just a miss. Just a miss on so many fronts.
How could you not write a Christmas movie and then not have Santa show up? It's so weird.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Terrible. It's a terrible movie. They should be ashamed of themselves. Except for, I will say, because I don't think I said it, Jack Black, very committed, as always. And I love this guy. I love him.
Yeah. In the middle of this movie, it falls flat, but he tries. He's always trying.
He's given it his all. You know, the old college try. That's all you can do sometimes.
Yeah. Now we talk about something we like. I started watching Alien Romulus.
Ooh, that is on our list. It has to wait till after Christmas.
Christmas.
All right.
I loved it. I mean, I haven't finished it yet. But
good. Yeah.
I loved everything about it. It's just like a bunch of no-name stars, and they set up a situation, and then the situation goes to shit. It's like, this is a science fiction I love, because you got to figure out what the hell you're going to do to make it so everybody doesn't die, and everybody's going to die. Okay.
I love it. Yeah, we're very excited. So I'm glad you're liking it.
What do you got for us, Tony?
I was issued a homework assignment from friend of the show, Todd.
Oh, wow.
After my Coen Brothers rant.
Oh, yeah. He made you watch a Coen Brothers movie?
Week. Yeah, he put me to work to watch the Hudsucker Proxy.
Yeah.
I did like it. I enjoyed it. It was funny. It's crazy.
I actually like the movie.
Well, maybe I just enjoy some of their older stuff, and then as they kept going, they got worse. I don't know. You should
watch the other one, A Simple Man, I think it's called, or something.
No,
that one's crazy. I like that one. That one's good. Don't watch the Billy Bob Thornton one. That's the only one I really didn't like.
Which one's the Billy Bob one?
The Man Who Wasn't There. I didn't care for that one, and I didn't care for Hail Caesar either.
Hail Caesar was fucking trash, and I love Channing Tatum. Love him to death. Hate that movie.
You never watched Bullet Train, did you?
Is that like
Takes place on a bullet train.
Sure.
Brad Pitt?
But the guy that was like
Brad
up for
Pitt.
Bond was in it, right?
Brad Pitt was in it.
Brad Pitt's in it. Yeah. No, I think we did see it. I think we saw that. I think we liked it.
Channing Tatum's best role ever.
Was he doing that one? I can't remember. I should rewatch it.
He's just one of the passengers, and he just has like this little bit.
Yeah, I do love Channing Tatum. He's great.
Very funny.
I believe.
Very, very funny.
He's a funny guy.
Okay,
beautiful.
We need a movie. We're still waiting for Craven. We're still
but it's soon, right?
Well, we're in the Craven waiting room. We're in the Red One waiting room.
Yeah,
and we're in the Venom waiting room. The three
Venom, I think, is soon. I think they said Venom's next week, next Friday or something. I think. Well, I'll keep you posted.
Well, luckily, we're no longer in the waiting room for Joker 2. Dula Afwa.
Oh, no.
We're doing the Joker.
I can't. Oh, no, Dan.
I do believe it said it was 2 hours and 25 minutes, something like that.
No, Dan, no.
There was some other movie I looked at that I was thinking about doing it, and it was well over 2 hours. I'm just, Joker, you're like, well, this is a Todd Phillips, is that his name? Todd Phillips?
Yeah, Todd Phillips.
It's a Todd Phillips masturbation, so he's got to masturbate as hard as long as he can.
For a long time. He's got to edge it for a while. Yeah. Oh, boy. I'm not excited for this, Dan.
I think I'm going to like this movie.
You think so? Did you like Joker?
I didn't finish it. It's too horrible.
Yeah, it's awful. I hate that movie. Like, I genuinely hate that movie.
See, we doing this show, we get ones that you put off the table. This off the table. Finding Nemo off the table. That's
says you.
Not doing that. If you said to me Joker off the table, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. I get that.
Yeah, I'm fine with this because isn't it like a musical or something?
It's totally a musical.
Yeah, all right.
So I'm intrigued.
It is something we should see. So
and this one's was the Joker. The first one was just like, I'm a malcontent and I'm being malcontent.
Yep.
And I turned it off because I was like, I get what this movie is. It's not gonna.
Yeah, and I don't care.
It's not. I'm not gonna care. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's just gonna be a big joke.
But it thinks it's self-important, and that's what frustrates me. Like it thinks it's like, oh, I'm making big grandiose statements about society. Fuck you. I've seen this a million times done way better. This movie sucks.
Well, and it was the whole movie was I mean not the whole movie, but a lot of it was a lift from the King of Comedy, which King of Comedy is one of those movies you watch and you lose your mind because you're just like, this is a work of genius. This is some
but it's a movie
stuff.
I only watch once ever.
I mean, maybe I've watched it twice, but it's not a movie that you go back to easily because it's about reality. It's about how people really are. And the Joker thought that it was talking about society and talking about characters and talking about the world we live in. And you're just like, no, it wasn't.
No, you're not, bud.
And a bunch of incels are like, this is the greatest movie ever because he's exactly who I want to be. You're like,
let's give them more power. Yay, idiots.
Incel power.
So
we're doing Joker 2.
Folie à deux.
Or whatever those words are.
It's a Fall Out Boy album. Fall Out Boy, Folie à deux. Great album. Underrated, really. Because it came after Infinity on High, and everyone was kind of over Fall Out Boy. But Folie à deux is a very solid album.
So what you're telling me is he lifted a bit from one of the dumbest bands in the world.
In French, for real. You know what I mean?
I think it just means part 2. I'm sure that's what it just means.
Oh, does it really?
I'm sure it does.
Well, that doesn't make sense for the Fall Out Boy album then.
Why?
Well, because it wasn't their second album. It was like their fourth album.
Oh.
Madness of 2. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's two crazy people.
Joker the madness of the 2.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm intrigued to see Lady Gaga,
I'm always actually quite pleased with her.
Did you watch the Bradley Cooper Star is Born with her?
I just want to take one last look at you. Yeah, Dan, I watched it. That's another one-timer for me because...
Oh, you've cried too much?
Oh, my God, yeah. So much crying. For days. Days.
I think I watched like the first 15 or 20 minutes of it, and I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, they're great. They're great together.
Yeah.
Did you see them perform? Where was it? The Oscars, I think, something like that, on stage together. Oh my God, it was magnetic. Listen, I don't want to start rumors, but I'm pretty sure they were sleeping together because it was hot. It was like steamy. They're on that piano and they're like this far apart and they're looking at each other's eyes and you're like, these people are in love. It's great. They did a wonderful job.
Are they really in love?
They say no.
Oh.
But I don't know.
Calling them liars. Whatever.
I'm calling them liars because I felt it. I felt it from afar.
If you like what we do, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a comment. Those are all things you can do to support the... oh my God, my pants are falling apart.
Dan's pants are falling off. Great.
They're not falling off. They're falling apart. It's very different.
They're falling apart off your body. Exactly. They're shredding before our very eyes.
I always wear my jeans out at the knees.
At the knees? What are you doing on your knees there, Dan?
Crawling around, looking for seed, corn and seed.
Oh, okay. You're in the field. I see.
No.
It's a little confused.
Here in the carpet. Okay, we're going to go. We'll be back talking about the Joker musical next week.
Goodbye, everybody.